Welcome everyone. This is episode 16 of the Transmaxxing podcast, and today's topic is keeping a positive mindset or personality maxing. So I actually have some suggestions here for things that might help you in life when it comes to personality. I think one important trait is to have a high sense of self-importance and expect admiration. What is your take on that?
I think that's a good idea to have because a lot of trans women, just people in general, have a low self-image or a low self-esteem. But when you feel like you have self-importance or you're deserving of good things happening to you, it kind of radiates off of you and it gives you a more of a personality that makes you probably feel more confident, more just
Yeah,
fulfilled in general versus feeling sad so often.
yeah, absolutely. And it also makes you expect better things. You are not content with bad things in life. You actually put effort into improving your situation. I think it's absolutely important that you have this sense of self-importance. The other point is that you feel that you deserve privilege and special treatment. This might be a bit controversial, but I think it's still true.
I agree, because if you feel like you deserve nothing, people are going to treat you that way, and they're not going to treat you the best. Because if you deserve nothing, then there's no need to be nice to you. But if you feel like you deserve everything, and you feel like you're entitled to niceness and all the good things in the world, those things will come towards you. It's like the law of attraction.
The third
Um,
point was expect to be recognized as superior.
that is a big thing too. Expecting that people see you as higher than them or see you as better than them. And that's a really good mindset to have. Some people might be unconfident, shy, but if you have the mentality that oh, I'm better than this person, and they think that, there's nothing to really be shy about or be insecure about if they think that you're better than them. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is essential when it comes to leadership. You have to have those qualities in order to be a good leader. You cannot be equal to people below you. That's impossible.
Yeah, because who's gonna listen to someone that's equal? If there's has to be some kind of hierarchy for there to be leadership in general, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is how we govern this server as well. We have a politbyrå and the politbyrå is above everyone else. And it works just fine. Next
Definitely.
one point is that if you do not yet have this power over other people and at least some position of authority, you can maybe fantasize about it and imagine yourself gaining that power and think about who you can get there. I think this is important as well.
Yeah, it's a good motivation. Even if you don't have the power currently, or you don't have the actual ability to do things over people, if you keep having that mindset, you're gonna eventually achieve at least somewhat of the idea you're going for versus just feeling oh, I'm beneath them, I'm never gonna amount to anything. That's such a poverty mindset. If you're stuck in that mindset, you're really not gonna go anywhere in life, and especially not in transition either.
Yeah, and the thing is that not everyone can be like the next Augustus, the next God Emperor over the entire world, but a lot of people can achieve some level of authority over other people, at least some prestige position, some level of greatness is further achievable for way more people than you might think. And we see
Mm-hmm.
that with politicians all the time. People are incompetent, like bad leaders, but because they are competent, good speakers, and then tell people what they want to hear, they get into those position of authority over other people anyway, and then screw things up. But they don't really feel the
Mm-hmm.
consequences other people do.
Yeah, I agree. Go on.
Recognize that you are superior to others and avoid wasting time with people who are not worthy of your time.
Yeah, that's a big one. Cause there's a lot of people that feel anyone's deserving of their attention and time, honestly, and that's such a really bad mindset to have in general. Cause people aren't like energy vampires. Like they're just gonna take all your energy and like all your kindness and all your feelings and just like leave you like feeling like really empty inside and really hurt. Because like people are like you might be like the good person, but most people are only focused on themselves and like what they want to say to make themselves feel better. So constantly
Yeah,
giving everyone your energy, it's just gonna make you feel bad.
yeah, there is this expectation that people will often put into you that you might feel like you have to socialize with other. Like this is something that I have to get over myself because everyone told me how it was like important to socialize and all the stuff, and I realized eventually that I was wasting my time with other people. I achieved nothing of value talking to them. So, but when you
Hmm.
have the mentality that like you have to be selective on who you spend time with people where you can actually achieve something, you're going to save so much time and you're going to have more success because you focus on where it matters the most.
Also, the people you surround yourself are like a reflection of yourself. So if you like give your energy to people like don't agree with their like thoughts or like their opinions, you're just gonna start like absorbing some of those opinions they have that you don't want to agree with. Like who you be around is like a reflection of yourself. So it might like give you like a bad image if you like keep this accepting like accepting anyone in basically. If that makes any sense.
Do you think you should be critical of and look down on people who are clearly below you?
Well, yeah, because like they're not gonna be critical of themselves. Like they need someone to say to like tell them that they're wrong or tell them that what they're doing is not right. Because no one wants to like disagree with themselves. Everyone wants to agree with themselves and think they're right when they're not necessarily always right. So someone needs to tell them what to do, and someone needs to be critical and like how they feel and like their thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, this is very important as well when you're a leader because we see people all the time who join this place and like behave like assets, like ruin it for everyone, and then we have to put them in their place and we have to inform them that we have the authority here. And after that actually works because people see that we don't tolerate bad behavior, we actually have expectations for people, and often when you do that people actually behave better because they know that it matters.
Yeah, people don't understand like expectations are a good thing. Like it means that we could like see potential in you being a better person, like you being a decent person. If we just let you go do whatever, we don't give a fuck about you. We don't care about you, what's gonna go on with you, or like your future in life, or like how you feel. Like having expectations and like standards is like a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is this notion that I see a lot, and I come across it, for example, with video games. There are so many people who say that, like, even if the game like isn't that good, you should play it anyway because it's like 7 out of 10. But this is like nonsense. I think you really
Hmm.
need to expect greatness in life and not settle for like mediocre things when you can have something that is so much better.
That's true. Like there's no point in wasting your time like on things that just aren't worth it or like aren't really worth your time in general. Like mediocre things are like all over the world. Like there's so many mediocre things to experience. Like we should want to experience greatness versus like that.
Yeah, for example, with video games, there are thousands, like maybe even over a million, but now different games you can play. And there are so many high quality titles if you just find them, so why should you play like a average game? This doesn't make sense because you don't have time to play like 10,000 average titles.
That's true. I think people are just lazy and like doing like the mediocre things easier. So people like definitely feeling like depressed and feeling sad and like feeling like you deserve nothing is like so easy versus like actually feeling like you're entitled to something. That's could be very hard for people. So people would rather do the easier thing than the harder thing, even if it's better than them, like for them.
Yeah, and there is also this issue that when you expect better, like, other people will get mad at you for that. I have seen it happen several times when I have explained to people that, for example, with the video games that I'm not going to play this game because I don't get the frame rate I want. Then people get like mad at me because I think it's an unreasonable standard, but for me this is a very low standard because this is not really a problem for me to find.
Like a quality game. They're like, "Oh, you think you're too good to play this game? Like you think you're too good?" And the answer is yes, I am too good for that. Like I actually need things to have quality in my life, like not just things are just okay. Because I'm not okay. I'm like above average. I'm beyond that. If that makes sense.
I think one important thing when it comes to success in life is that when you have talents and achievements that you really have to boast about, then you have to communicate them to other people so they know. Because like even if you have skills, you're not necessarily going to get like a chance to shine, because there are so many competent people who never get the chance to actually get into authority and make things better. There are like tens of thousands of people, probably millions of people who think that things will be better if I was in charge, but because they don't have the other trait to get them into this position of authority, it doesn't really matter because they never get the chance to shine.
I think people like don't do that because they feel like hiding things or like hiding their talents or their ability or like their like strengths is like kind of like I guess humble or like it's a good thing. But all you're gonna do is miss out on like all the opportunities you could possibly have in life, just trying to make everyone else more comfortable and happy. Like it's such a dumb decision. But people think it's nicer to like make other people feel more comfortable when they hide like their like skills and talents, because like they don't want the other person to feel like they're inadequate or like something's wrong with them.
Yeah, absolutely. There are all these social expectations, and I
Hmm.
think this ties into the thing that you need to avoid focusing too much of the needs and feelings of other people. Like this really holds people back a lot. Because I
Yeah, because
think,
most people really only think about themselves. So, like, what's wrong with doing the same? Because, like, it's self-preservation. Like, the average person does not care about you, and they probably like wouldn't care if you lived or died. So, it's more important to focus on your own like pleasure and your own happiness and what helps you versus what helps them and makes them feel better.
yeah, and like even if you want to make the world a better place, like in order to do that, you have to preserve yourself because if you die, you cannot do anything. But if you get
Sure.
into a high position of authority, then you can actually change things. So by gaining power first and taking care of yourself first, then gaining influence, then you can change things for the better without sacrificing yourself in the process. Like you cannot expect people to sacrifice themselves for the greater good for nothing in return. That just doesn't really work too well. The people who tends to do that tends to never achieve anything. And there are so many examples of that people just sacrifice themselves and achieve nothing.
I think it's like this societal like expectation that like sacrifice is like an inherently good thing, which is like honestly bullshit. Like sacrifice can be a good thing, but it's not always. If you like literally do it just for like, I guess for the validation or like for people to like you, that's just so stupid. Like if you need to sacrifice something, do it for yourself. But these people think that like sacrificing themselves like or dying for like a cause when them dying wouldn't benefit the cause is just like so ridiculous, honestly. Like how who's gonna continue like the message you want to spread if you're dead? Because like the average person that was involved in it's gonna be like, oh well, he died. Oh well, he or she died. Oh well. But we think let's talk about something else. Let's like talk about another topic. That's what they're gonna do. You're not gonna be like, oh my God, they died for us. We need to like change this, and that, and like behave totally differently and like continue their legacy. Like most people are not like that, honestly.
Yeah, and the thing is, for example, with wars, like there are maybe a million people who die in a war, like they're not going to remember a million people, they're going to be forgotten, like that maybe like 10 people who get like famous. But in the others, it
True.
doesn't matter anyway.
And you know what's funny? Those people that died in those wars probably thought they were like really changing the world, but like no one remembers their name, no one even remembers their family. They're literally just like a number. And that's like so sad sometimes. Like it's like kind of sad, but at the same time, I don't know what they really expected. I think like when the people are like in war or like they're in situations like that, they have like a delusional mindset that like they're out of like the 100 people doing the same exact thing, they're special, which is just not true. Even though they might feel that way, if you're not like actually like making any changes, like it means nothing. Like
Yeah, often the people who
I'm so sorry.
sacrifice the most achieve the least, while people who take care of themselves are actually able to change the world.
Hmm.
I think that in order to achieve like success, you really have to take advantage of other people, and this doesn't necessarily mean that you're like exploiting them, but you still have to use other people. Like you might have to pay them, you might have to give something in return, but you cannot like do everything yourself.
I think that word just has like a lot of negative connotations. But in reality, like we all use each other, like in good ways and bad ways. Like if you ask like a family member to borrow like $5 or like your parents fed you, that's taking using someone, like you're using them to be fed. Like it's not I think it's just the way though people word it that they don't understand like what that really means. They think it's like you're exploiting someone inherently.
Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense regarding that. For example, let's say I have a company and I pay people a good salary, better than what they could get anywhere else. Like even then people will claim that I am like exploiting other people because I am making a profit for my company. But the thing is, I risked like a lot of money, put a lot of time into building this company and might not even be successful. So for that to be worth it, I need to be able to make a profit from it. I think there's a lot of like brainwashing, indoctrination about this, that people believe that it will be wrong to like make a profit out of other people when like in reality you need to make a profit for things to even work in the first place. Like you're not going to get like to a viable company just by like having everyone own a piece of it. Sure, there may be some companies like that, but then people have to invest and risk money for your business. You're not going to find people like that for the most part, and they might even be competent in leadership anyway.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to like have like make like business more moral, which is like honestly bullshit. Business is not moral. Business does not have like set values that you have to do a certain way. Business is dirty. Business could be a lot of things, but like it's the only thing that's important is a profit and like if everyone's safe. Like, but people see that like I think it's like more like the communism like epidemic going on right now that
Yeah, absolutely.
people see working as like slavery, which is like crazy.
There's absolutely nothing wrong inherently with people working for DoorDash. And I think that often you're actually better off working than like being a business owner, because unless you're like successful with the business, you might actually lose money and then you work, have to pay money for working and achieve nothing. So I think it's important that you should expect some favor from other people, and also that some people in some situation should do what you want without questioning you constantly. And this is like basic for leadership as well, that if you have a business you don't want people to constantly question your authority as the business owner. That doesn't work.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that's like giving someone set duties for a job and it's like the most simplest thing ever, and they constantly ask you why. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Like it just doesn't make any sense. And like expecting special favors, that's definitely like realistic. Like someone holding the door for you is a special favor. If like you're transitioning to a woman, like you should expect certain things in society and just from people in general to like honestly not only pass better, but to like have more of a feminine personality. Because like being feminine, like you should always be in the mindset of receiving, not like giving. Like when you are like at a restaurant and someone gives you like I don't know extra piece of bread, you shouldn't be like, oh no, you can have it back. I don't need it. You should have like the mindset that you're always willing to receive and like accept. So that's a big thing because I feel like a lot of trans women, they feel like if they're like these morally righteous women that like they'll get a man or like they'll get a woman, but in reality, this world isn't really that morally righteous. Like going against yourself or like saying that you don't deserve things or saying like you don't need special things, it's also going to hurt yourself in the long term, and it might even like make you pass less too. Like if a woman's like walking through a door and like some guy holds it for her and she says, "Oh, actually no, I don't need you to do that for me." That's just fucking weird if it's like a target on your back. Like what's wrong with this woman? Why does she not want me to hold the door for her? Why does she not want to receive like this nice like special gesture I'm doing for her?
Yeah, and I think maybe the crux of it that we keep coming back to is that recognizing your superiority, recognizing that other people are below you, like things like that, which are super controversial these days. Like it's kind of necessary, because when you realize that so many people are fucking bad. And the thing is, I have hanged around with a lot of people. I have seen a lot of people how they behave, like how they are despicable, like try to take advantage of you at every turn, desperate for like sex, desperate for money, and often incompetent as well, and want to like over you despite being incompetent. Because they have so many problematic people out there, you need to be wary and on guard.
Yeah, I think these people have this mindset that like, oh, I'm like a bad person and I'm undeserving and like, so whatever happens to me happens to me. But like, so many people will like see that you like having that mindset and be like, okay, this is like easy. Like, I'm gonna exploit this person. I'm gonna use this person. But if you always have like the mindset that like, oh, I'm not gonna be used. I'm not gonna be taken advantage of. Actually, I'm gonna be the person doing the opposite of that. I'm gonna be doing taking advantage of people. I'm gonna be using people. Like, you basically kind of protect yourself.
Yeah, and
But a lot of people say that's immoral and like mean.
yeah, and of course we're not advocating for like anything illegal here. These are all things within the law. For example, if you sell a product, you have the right to charge whatever price you want. But then if you rip someone off, they can just they can maybe return it, but most people don't do that.
Mhm. That's true. Yeah, nothing illegal, but like honestly, it's a dog eat dog world. Like if everyone was nice and everyone was a good wholesome person, this world would be perfect, and it's clearly not. So.
I think we will never get there because it's just like basic biology of self-preservation. Like you see that across the animal kingdom, that animals need to like fight for themselves. And sure, humans are more tribal than some other animals. I'm not sure if we are more than average, but even then, like there are still maybe tribal warfare all the time. Like look at all the wars during history and all the bloodshed and brutality. And clearly, like sure humans can band together, but this is often against some external enemy. Like it's going to be hard to get like everyone get along and love each other. I don't think this is ever really happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And yeah, it definitely is biological. Like all these people are like that are trying to like, be like these like perfectly morally sound people and like these perfectly like angels. Like you're honestly fighting against your own biology. Like your biology is telling you that you should have self-preservation and you're doing the opposite of that. And that just leads like to like negative mental health. It leads to like self-deprecating thoughts and like low self-esteem and everything. Having these negative like mindsets basically.
Yeah, and if you look at, for example, a lot of people in incel communities, we see these negative, self-defeating thinking all the time, where they think that because their face has issue, they are not like never going to get a girlfriend. They maybe hoping for like one from the government or something stupid like that. Or some people just like give up and try to like harm themselves in ways that are irreversible. So here we see an example of what happens when you do not have a positive mentality when you are negative. And if it is the case that your face has some issue, it doesn't mean that you should just give up on life and lay down and rot and like play video games all day and live on welfare and achieve nothing. Like there are so many people who have facial flaws or whatever and still achieve like at least get a girlfriend or even more success.
Yeah, I think like the main issue is like blackpilling yourself. I feel like there's like a huge issue like on the internet and like 4chan culture and like internet culture with blackpilling. Like I feel like people see negative things and like they catastrophize it or whatever. Like they make it like a tragedy or catastrophe inherently versus just like accepting that negative things happen in life that you cannot control, but there's not necessarily a way to like internalize that as like your lifestyle or that's your life's gonna be up forever. Because like all this negative energy and this like blackpilling thoughts, it just keeps you like stuck in like a constant loop. Like let's just say I don't know, I can't get a girlfriend and I'm like a guy or something. If I just constantly say I'm not gonna get a girlfriend, no girl wants me, no one wants me over and over again, and I don't try to like self-improve, I don't try to change anything, I'm just like complaining about that, I'm just gonna like be in the same cycle. So like a lot of these things, like telling yourself that you're undeserving or you're not good enough, is just gonna like have you end up in a loop. So it's better just to get out of that mindset and just like move forward in life and understand that like you deserve things, you deserve respect, like all the things that you want in life you deserve. So go out and get them. Like it might be difficult, it might be hard, but like that doesn't make it impossible.
And we see
It's like impossible
similar
thing.
issues with trans people as well. We have come across like people who look just fine as females, but they themselves think that they don't pass, or think that they are like ugly and everything. It can be very frustrating because when we tell them that, oh, you look fine and you look cute, they don't trust us, they think we are like lying to them, and then they like find the one person who tell them they are ugly. This is just self-defeating mentality that achieves nothing.
Yeah, it's just like one person probably said they look like a man, or one person misgender them, and they feel like that's the end of the world. Like I will never pass. I will never be feminine. I will never be this. Even in reality, like they actually are those things. They just don't put the effort in, like see that in themselves. Like there's so many trans women I know that are so beautiful, so feminine, but like since they have such a self-defeatist attitude, they literally do things that work against that. Like they might do things that make themselves look more masculine because they feel like trying to look feminine is pointless. Like they might look perfectly girly or whatever, but they might like get like a more masculine haircut or like wear men's clothes and like wonder
Yeah,
why people are gendering them that way.
yeah, this
But
is so
probably,
frustrating when you see all these people who like are boy moding, like, and this is stupid. Because the thing is like when you present as a male, you're not going to learn female socialization. You're just holding yourself back forever, pretty much.
also, you really cannot tell if you pass or not if you freaking boy mode, because how do you know people aren't just gendering you as male because they think you're a trans man or they think you're like AFAB trying to present as male? Honestly, especially if you live in a more liberal area, like it's honestly just like it doesn't make a lot of sense, honestly,
Yeah, and
in my
also
opinion.
like even if you're boy, it's not going to protect you against harassment either, because there are people who are going to like be dicks to you anyway. Like even if you're
Yeah,
boy mode,
people are mean.
because like you're not going to pass as a cis man, so
Yeah, it's just very illogical because a lot of times the pretense condition with when it comes to boy moding is they basically the implication at the start is for them to be called he, him, and then since everyone's calling you that, it just makes sense that like new people coming in would just follow through with it. And then you wonder why you think you don't pass. Well, people are just doing what you wanted them to.
Yeah, like they literally boy mode expecting people to see him as a boy or like a man, and then get mad when people see him as a boy or man. That's so confusing. Like imagine being
uh,
around that person. That probably sounds like so awful, honestly. Like you don't know what to say or like how to gender them.
Yeah, because they're hiding this. So like in the false conclusion, you think they're just like some insecure man who's like losing the battle or something to femininity and you have no idea what's going on. You're just trying to help them out.
True, it's so wild. I've actually seen a lot of people like that. Like I'm not sure if they're like an FTM or a blur motor. So like I just look at their clothes and like they're more like masculine presenting. I'm like, he? And like I feel like bad because I don't know how to gender them. It's
yeah.
just so wild, honestly. Like they have like some really, really like strong defining like masculine features. Like not even like unpassing, like think like a masculine looking woman or something, or like a woman who's like a butch lesbian. Like they have like features like that, but like I'm not sure if they're a trans man or a trans woman or like they're boy moding. It's just like I don't know. It's just really confusing for everyone involved.
Another thing that might happen to people is that some people are very early in their transition, so they might think that it's like over 40 and they will never pass. But the thing is, when they actually look up before and after footage, you see some really amazing results. For example, there is this
Yeah.
photo, they took a picture of themselves every year from 2015, and then there are 6 photos after that. And they actually look kinda attractive as a male, but like feminine, like 2016. Then 2017 they are like a hot woman, and you will never expect that looking at that male before. like even I wouldn't like have guessed that they will be so hot as a female, but somehow they turned out really well.
So, like, people always talk about when they're starting HRT or they're starting the transition that they don't pass. But, like, let's be realistic. Out of, like, the millions of people transitioning that are male to female, how many people pass, like, in the beginning of their transition immediately? That's, like, literally, like, what? Negative, like, 5% of trans people? So, immediately blackpilling yourself and, like, hating yourself is just so ridiculous. Like, no one passes immediately.
Yeah, even like for me, where like I'm very lucky, it took me like years of like doing like the aesthetics and stuff to even like pass without the HRT. And that's coming from a luck shit. Like it wasn't easy for me to pass at the start because I had no guidance, and yeah, so you should keep your expectations a little low, but keep working at it and like build your skills.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first started transitioning, I was a hot freaking mess. Like, I looked awful. Like, I looked like fully like a twink, like dressing like in their mom's clothes. And you know what? I freaking owned it. I owned it. And now I feel like I'm a very way more passable, like after being on HRT so long, getting surgeries. So like, it's never hopeless. Like, as long as you're not like extremely like, I don't know, like a 6'9" linebacker with like, I don't know, like a quagmire jaw, you should be really fine. Like, it's definitely a possibility for you to pass with surgery or without surgery or just HRT.
Yeah, I think one thing that can help you is to have the video game approach where you achieve one small thing at a time and then you mark it as an improvement. So like when it comes to transitioning, there's going to be all these small steps that adds up to maybe something really great eventually. So you just have to be patient and wait for the HRT to work and learn makeup better, grow longer hair and all that. It takes time.
It's like a process. That's like, I don't know, making a sandwich. Like, you don't just like put the bread on and then expect it to be a sandwich. Like, you have to put like the meat on, you have to put like the cheese on, maybe you might toast it a little bit or like add some like seasoning. Like, it's not just like a fucking sandwich is not just like two pieces of bread. Like, you actually have to progress it and like keep going once you like start the sandwich. I don't know if that was a good analogy or not, but
I think one thing that can help you a lot is you have to have people as admiration, because when you look at what other people have achieved, it can give you more confidence as well because you see that this other person did it and you can as well.
Because like, how are you gonna know where your destination is if you don't like wait? How are you gonna get to your destination if you don't know where your destination is? Like, you're basically just walking aimlessly. Like, if you have someone have like an idea like how you want to look or like what you want to be, like that's like a stepping stone. Like, it's a destination. And honestly, like your ideal look you want to have when you start transitioning is not how you're probably gonna want to look in like, I don't know, 5 years from now. Like, I know I don't want to look how like I wanted to look like years ago, but it just has you like a guideline to like what you really want to do. Like, if you want to be, I don't know, like a golf chick, you could like start learning like golf makeup or like start learning like feminine clothing that like is like black or like edgy, but like still feminizes your body. Like, what edgy gothic clothing feminizes you? That's like a guideline to start, and then you go from there. Versus just like, oh, I'm a man. I will never be a woman. I can't transition. I'm too manly. I look bad. I look this. I look that. I am not good at makeup. I don't know how to do makeup. Like, those are just like doomer pills. Like, it's a stepping stone. Like, it's a journey. It's not just like, oh, I step outside, I'm already there. I have to like actually get to the destination.
There are so many things in life where you have to take it one step at a time. There are very few things that you can do like everything at once and solve all your problems. Like, so much things require sustained effort.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is, yeah, you gotta set your own journey and like figure out where you want to go. Yeah, the journey takes one step at a time. You can't just teleport to your destination. You have to work your way there.
hmm I feel like people are just not being realistic with themselves and like with reality. They see like these trans timelines or they see like these trans timeline videos or like trans influencers, and they look at these trans influencers like, I don't look like that. I'll never look like that, and that's just the end all be all. But it's really not. It's just how their mindset is. because they keep blackpilling themselves, which is just like really just like not helpful for anyone.
And of
Like you can
course,
get there.
there is a big difference between just passing as a typical female and becoming some huge supermodel. Like when it comes to appearance, your control over that is more limited than your control over other things. And honestly, I think it's maybe a bit overrated. I'm sure it helps to look good, but there are so many other important aspects. Making good decisions is, for example, more important than looking good. Because if you make bad decisions in life, you can have the best like looks and everything, but then if you just throw everything away, you end up with nothing. And there are too many people just throw everything they have away for no reason.
That's so true. I feel like people don't value the things they have till they're gone, so they're so quick to make choices that could like jeopardize their decisions. Like, I don't know. Like, I know doing certain things might affect it, like, I don't know, the effectiveness of your HRT. Like, if you Hondos yourself and like you're transitioning well and you start Hondosing yourself, you're gonna start like seeing like, not as many changes you were seeing before. So it's good to just stay on track with whatever you're doing and not like do things that jeopardize like your results or like your accomplishments.
But this also ties into recognizing your greatness, because if you don't recognize great things you have, you might lose them because you don't preserve them. So it's actually important for that reason as well.
Yeah, like that's such a big thing. Like I've been transitioning for like a couple of years now, like a lot of years, and the only thing I've kind of like I missed out on is like appreciating the journey. Like every day of my transition, I was always like stressing out about like how I don't pass, how I don't look good, how I don't, this doesn't this. But in reality, like transitioning is such a beautiful thing. I wish I would just took it one day at a time and like really appreciated the journey versus just like dreading it. Because like I'm at the point now where I'm like, oh, I miss like all the changes I used to have. I miss all this other stuff, but I didn't really value it when it was happening. And like that's the big thing.
I actually noticed several times people being really desperate to have what I have, and sometimes take for granted, and then I see people desperate for it. And I
Hmm.
maybe didn't like value it as high as I should have. Something I have learned is that it's very important that you have power, that you have authority, because otherwise, if someone screws up, you can get into trouble for that, and they can like ruin everything because someone else made a bad decision. But if you are in control, then you can prevent that. And if I had learned that earlier, I could have avoided a lot of frustration in life. Because I tend to maybe overestimate other people and expect maybe too much from them, because I hope that they are going to be as competent as I am, and then they are not, and I get disappointed.
Yeah, because most people aren't competent, so like having that mindset is like so dangerous, honestly. Especially if you put like your own safety or like your own like personal gain like in their hands. It's just crazy. So having power is definitely like a go-to. It's better to like rely on yourself versus rely on like others and like have their like defeat or like loss like affect you.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are so many people who will just fail, and then they will blame you for it anyway, because like you gave them the opportunity to like fail, and then they fail and drag you down with it, and then they blame you because maybe you did something, and you get the blame. But if you are control, and then you get what you want, then you get the credit, and if you fail, you're the one who can still blame someone else for it anyway. So
Yeah. You don't have to accept responsibility when you're in power. Only when you want to. That's like the beauty of it, basically.
yeah, it's a bit ironic, but the more power you have, the less accountable you are to other people, because they don't have power, they cannot do anything, so you can just do what you please.
Yeah, let me do this.
Yeah, it's not as
How are they gonna
simple.
stop?
Like today, most countries, they might still have to worry about maybe an invasion, but usually that doesn't happen these days, or at least not very often. So
I think that was pretty good. Unless Val, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, it seems like we've been going over like the same kind of consistent theme here, but yeah, a lot of it is you have to have power over yourself and think you deserve greatness in life.
Hmm.
Like 100%. You can't just let yourself get walked over and then wonder why you're getting walked over when you just like basically you give people the like opening and like indirectly tell them to do it because of like how weak and nonchalant you are about things. Like stand up for yourself and make sure you are heard, known, listened, and respected.
True that.
I think that this is the end of episode 16 of the Transmaxxing podcast. I hope you have a nice day forward and make sure to like this video as well. Have a nice day everyone.